Everybody here to talk about Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Eric's wearing a shirt.
We are the weekend geeks, living the dream. Coming to conventions like a laser beam. Pop culture heroes from dusk till dawn. In the world of fandom, you can never go wrong.
Well, welcome to our panel for Reimagining Star Trek. Glad to be here. My name is Justin. I run a website called fanappearances.com, and we list actors, conventions, news, information. We're doing a big overhaul right now. I've spent the better part of the last month trying to get all the back end on it working, so it's much easier for you to find information. To my left is a gentleman that is called Eric, and he used to run Sci-Fi Actor Appearances, which became the website. Eric has been joining me doing panels since 2010. No. Like 2011 or 12. We met in 2010.
Yeah.
First year of Wizard World. Y'all remember that? Anybody go to Wizard World back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show. I have a QR code. If you would like to subscribe and share this, I would appreciate that. We definitely love your thoughts on it. And this panel will be on the channel as soon as I can get to edit it. So if you'd like to do that, and just let you know that we are recording. So if you have any objection, we won't show you on there, but if you ask a question or participate, yell it out so that we can hear it.
So
I'll go back.
At the beginning of every panel, we kind of like to find out what generations of Star Trek fans we have in here. Whose favorite series is original series?
Nobody likes the original series?
Next Generation. All right. Deep Space Nine. Voyager. Okay. Enterprise. Yeah, I would never get to
J.J. Abrams. The J.J. series.
The J.J. verse. Yeah. Discovery.
You raised your hand for multiple. Okay. You just like Trek in general.
Yeah.
Discovery? Okay.
How many of you are new Star Trek fans? Anybody?
New within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Just started watching it. Okay.
All right.
I dove in there though.
Yeah.
What was it that brought you to Star Trek?
I guess my partner just encouraged me, was like, it's really good. You should check it out. And I did. I'd seen a couple of episodes of original series, but I was like super young. And I was missing out for years. So yeah, glad I found it.
Good.
Yep.
So 61 years ago, maybe, Gene Roddenberry sat at a computer and I said it wrong. Gene Roddenberry sat at a typewriter and he started forming a thesis, if you will, a treatment for what would become the Cage. Gene Roddenberry said in his original treatment, Star Trek is a wagon train concept built around characters who travel to worlds similar to our own and meet the action, adventure, drama, which becomes our stories. Their transportation is the cruiser SS Yorktown, performing a well-defined and long-range exploration, science, security mission, which helps create our format. The time is somewhere in the future. That's kind of vague. It could be 1995, heavens no, or maybe even 2995. In other words, close enough to our own time for our continuing characters to be fully identifiable. I'm falling asleep here. As people like us, but far enough into the future for galaxy travel to be thoroughly established, happily eliminating the need to encumber our stories with tiresome scientific explanation. That's, to me, that last line about scientific explanation is exactly what goes into every episode of Star Trek. So I don't know how you tell a story about Star Trek without having scientific explanation.
Yeah.
your thoughts on that, Eric? He won't say much, so I'll have to drive it out of him.
No, I say a lot. I'm just not. I just pick and choose my opportunities. As a who here is a fan of westerns? Okay, you and I are kindred spirits. Star Trek, the original series, feels like a western in space. So anybody watch Orville? The Orville. The first season of The Orville felt like a western in space too, comedy western in space. But, yeah, oh yeah. But that was what was popular at the time, and Gene Roddenberry had been a writer for cop shows, and
Keep talking because the PowerPoint just crashed. It's amateur hour, folks. It's not professional reimagining Star Trek. It's amateur, Evan. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, on top of that, savvy because he kind of knew what the producer was looking for. He had to package it in such a way where he could sell it.
Yeah.
Producers at the time, like the Bonanza and Fence Book and whatnot was the way. So he was trying to package his thing, his story in a way to where it's palatable to the producers at the time.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that's true, but it had all these other concepts way ahead of its time. But that's kind of how he had to push it to the power of the end.
We actually have a video on that topic from Gene Roddenberry himself. Is that the next video?
That's the next video. As soon as it will decide to play.
Thank you for bringing us to our segue.
Yes,
Segueing us to our video.
And I have notes and all this, and it's all. Yeah.
All right.
So let's listen to Gene.
They didn't want to have anything to do with it. They thought that I made it too complicated. They felt I had offered them a wagon train to the stars, which I had, because I wanted to sell it. And Westerns were very big at the time. And I felt that I double-crossed them. I'd written them this thing about where the mind went in certain ways, and they wanted someone with bare knuckles in a fist fight. They turned it down, and but they did like some parts of it. The first time they said they'd ever felt like they were truly in a spaceship. And they turned it down. They said, now, if you will really give us the equivalent of a Western, we can put you back to work on it. So we made them a second show, which had a lot of science fiction elements too, but at least it ended up with Bill Shatner in a bare-knuckle fist fight in which he beats a godlike figure in a fair brawl. And I thought it was a terrible idea, but it worked and it met their needs, and that started us. We sold Star Trek with it.
Gene Roddenberry is very much against the idea of the fist fight. He wanted to tell the cerebral story. And if you go back to the story of the motion picture, originally the God concept and phase 2 and everything that was looking for, Gene kind of follows the same theme of what happens in the mind. He wants to develop those characters and develop that process and see how they're going to interact with each other and the human condition and all that, and how it flows. When we thought about reimagining Star Trek, we got to think about what he says here when the new series is put out.
And that kind of thinking with Gene continued with all of you who watch Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, with the more well, now that he was free in that time period to eliminate the bare knuckle fist fights and have a more cerebral captain with Picard. And where am I going with this? Oh, the concept of science fiction and having science really at the center, and that the feeling that man can improve himself, and the positive nature of Star Trek really contrasts with most of the other sci-fi in the period. So, and
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Good points.
and when we're approaching the two shows that we're focusing on later on. One delves into a darker aspect, becomes more like the sci-fi that is in our popular culture, and one returns us to the more positive cerebral aspect. There's some fist fighting too.
You got to have fist fights.
Yeah, you gotta have fist fights. But it's reimagining Star Trek in a way that brings new people in and then brings us back to what we started.
And we're going to bash Discovery later. I promise you. We'll get to the bashing part of it.
Who in here really likes Discovery?
Didn't we ask that earlier? And it was no one. Yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Okay.
You asked the favorite. That's
Yeah, the favorite. Yeah.
It was kind of the vanguard.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Without the efforts of Discovery, it's hands down is the entire reason that we went on this course, because the movies were kind of a kickstart, but then because Paramount owned that, it wasn't a CBS property, it couldn't go further, and they had to wait for the marriage to happen again. And people said that was never going to happen, and then we ended up with it. Back in the 90s, there used to be a thing that would be in the writer's room during the Berman era. And it would always go back to whenever they had arguments about something, script or a character, like on DS9, it goes back to this bust that was on the wall or on this table, and it was of Gene Roddenberry. And the question was always, what would Gene do? And at some point, I believe they said, the heck with Gene, this is ours to do what we want to. And then I think that's what we started down that road a little bit. As society now, when we asked, what would Gene do? He definitely wouldn't make Discovery. Probably wouldn't have made Strange New Worlds, but in a different format. We definitely would not have Lower Decks. I thought I read somewhere that he was very much against something of that nature. And it just shows you who he was. He didn't want conflict amongst people. He didn't want those kind of things to happen. And it was always letters about this.
And it wasn't until really Deep Space Nine when you had conflict between characters. And Deep Space Nine is my personal favorite because you have that. It delved deeper. It was a deeper series than the other shows. And how can you have a show without conflict of characters if it's taking place in one place? Space station rather than on a starship where they can change the location and the circumstances.
Planet of the week.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward a little bit to a time when Game of Thrones is on the air. It's on HBO. It's not on Max. And the entire storytelling way that you do, the way that you show TV shows, the way that you produce them, the way that you interact is all about telling a long narrative in, let's say, a 10 or 12 episode arc.
Yeah.
Gone are the episodic days when you made a series or a season that would last 26, 27 shows.
There's really no, well, in that time, there was really no episodic sci-fi. You had Law and Order and things like that were the mystery of the week or the case of the week. But sci-fi had become a continuing story, and
and that's where I was going with it, is the fact that because of Game of Thrones, our entire outlook on television has changed. We don't look for that. We can't sit still long enough to watch this drama unfold. 27 hours compared to 10 hours, there's a lot of time difference to learn about your characters, to get fluff episodes, to get things that really develop them, things that we look for. Like, I believe Data's Day was one of those episodes. Just things like that come from that part. And then you miss it because you're no longer giving audiences a chance to discover that. Oh, there we use that word again.
You get musical episodes.
I don't have a problem with that.
But
anybody really enjoy the Subspace Rhapsody? Okay. It's decent. That was funny, yes. Eric didn't like it.
It was okay.
All right,
I don't like music.
continue with your point.
Go back to
I want to show you a video from Comic-Con whenever they were discussing releasing Discovery. Everyone was on stage. William Shatner poses a question to Brian Fuller, and he's going to answer and talk about what you're going to see in Discovery and how it's going to be a different series than what you've seen before. And then we'll talk about Discovery's original premise and where it went.
Your expectation, why don't you tell us what the new series has?
Well, I think what the new series has to do is now it has to remind the audience about the message of Star Trek.
Which
and
is?
It feels like Star Trek has a home on movies and Star Trek has a home on television, and Star Trek has always been an intimate adventure, and it's the adventure of mankind, humankind, all of us. So really, if anything, I feel like what the new series has to do is continue to be progressive, continue to push boundaries, to continue telling stories in the legacy that Gene Roddenberry promised, which is giving us hope for a future.
Are you going to do anything new, anything different? The characters,
Oh yes.
telling a story?
Oh yes, we've got new things. We were telling stories in a brand new way. We're not so much episodic.
You're not doing episodic?
No, there have been
What else is there?
Well, there have been 762 episodes of Star Trek television, so we're going to be telling stories like a novel.
Like a novel?
Ooh.
Chapters?
Chapter by chapter by chapter.
Like continuing?
Yes,
Growing?
absolutely.
So if you miss one, you've missed everything?
Well, you can read the synopsis on Wikipedia. Or since it's on CBS All Access, you're not going to miss anything because it's right there at your fingertips.
What a sales guy there. I liked what he said about the novel format, but I don't like the fact that we lost episodic telling. We got some of that back with Strange New Worlds, but we only get 10 of those episodes. And we're going to get a short season at the end, which may or may not be just hour-long shows.
Yeah. In that, I feel the questioning from William Shatner, his responses to those questions, and going to, I think, I may be jumping ahead, but I think we needed, this may be a disagreeable opinion.
I'll allow it.
But I think we may have needed the J.J. Abrams and the Discovery to bring Star Trek back to the people in power, to the people that have the money, that have the purse strings, that brought people to the box office that would not probably have come to a Next Generation movie. It gave us new fans to join in the fold who may have gone back and become fans of the original series. But the disservice that they did to the fans by not adhering to canon, not caring. I go back to this one interview, Jon Stewart. Have you seen the Jon Stewart interview with J.J. Abrams? He asks J.J., were you a Star Trek? Were you a Star Trek fan as a kid? And he goes, no, I was a Star Wars fan. I never really watched Star Trek. And Jon Stewart says, and I hope your next thing is, I'm really sorry. That's what you should say next. And I think J.J. Abrams was auditioning to direct Star Wars when he got into Star Trek. But I think while it hurt us to us fans who love the continuity drives the series, it may have inadvertently got us back to Strange New Worlds, Picard, things that we love now.
J.J. Abrams. I'm
Was
sorry?
that? Yes.
Well,
Mhm.
the good thing that did come out of J.J. Abrams is we did get Alex Kurtzman. And that's the subject of debate for a little bit later. But I will say Kurtzman's contract ends in 2 years.
No, Alex Kurtzman. I thought you said outskirtsman.
Alex Kurtzman? No, Alex Kurtzman. Roberto Orci was in that discussion as well. And I think he really wanted to get it, but then Kurtzman was a better series lead and had more experience in that. They all were involved with Lost and all those kind of shows that we enjoyed.
Yeah.
But without JJ, we don't get to the point that we need Discovery.
Yeah.
And we don't get to the point where we get to see the Enterprise D come back on the screen. We don't get those moments where Q's hugging Picard.
Yeah.
We don't reconcile those kind of differences. So we have to imagine this world without JJ, no Trek, because I forget the gentleman's name that was in charge of CBS at the time. He said absolutely not. We will not have Star Trek return.
That was Les Moonves.
Yes.
He did not want Star Trek back in movies. He did not want Star Trek back on television.
It was only because someone at Paramount departed and got a wish to have another movie.
Well,
Yes.
Les Moonves departed too.
If you watch, you're subscribed to Trek Culture on YouTube, but they talk about that very thing, how Nemesis did so poorly and how it ended, it caused Tom Hardy had about a depression because of that, and some things that happened because the movie just was not there. And there was discussion of having one more film after Nemesis, but because it just absolutely was terrible, that ended it and pretty much ended the entire franchise. I don't think it was not as bad, but maybe it was as worse as Final Frontier. I don't know. That almost killed. Well, there would be no Star Trek 6.
Yeah.
Had that, after some discussion. So we have Discovery. So we have Discovery. We have this series that's coming on CBS All Access that's going to tell a different story. And it was originally sold as the Mirror Universe. I think everyone should know that by now, that Fuller's original concept was to spend some time in Prime and then completely go to Mirror, and that would be it. A completely dark take on what the series normally, or franchise normally was. And that's the whole reason why you had such great casting.
Yeah. And I'd like to know what you guys thought when Discovery first came out. Were y'all impressed? Were y'all disappointed?
Cool to start off the rails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're saying having streaming available made it an opportunity for you to go back and see the other stuff too, right? Yes.
And then this.
Okay.
So maybe that's why it's good.
In the back.
I just start with the second. When I went back. No,
Once it became the Berman crying hour, Days of Our Berman, that's when I lost it. She could have been anyone but that person, and it would have been fine. But the fact that we're Spock's sister, and there's no reason that needs to be there, like that gets me the same way that Khan in Into Darkness gets me. Could have been anybody else. Could have been someone else in the tube. Didn't need to be Khan. Any more disco comments? That's my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And then it's so different than what Trek was known. It's a departure.
Yeah.
I bash it a lot. I enjoyed the latter part of the final season. It did kind of bring some things into order for me, but it's still, I couldn't do 3 and 4. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. It just, it was.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why they always also talk about not doing 26, 27 episodes, is it's costing millions of dollars every time you're putting out a feature film, basically.
Yeah. It's a movie each week. Yeah. And talking about Jason Isaacs, he's here. I liked I think they did a very good job with the plot points of him being from the mirror universe. There were some things that were very well written, some things that were not as well written. But when we got Spock, I think that changed a bit.
It did.
And
they also left a cliffhanger that has not been tied up yet. We did see Sybok.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for that to come back.
Resolve itself.
He's just kind of just sitting out in limbo. He hasn't asked yet why God needs a starship.
But without Discovery, we don't get Strange New Worlds. So I count Discovery as a win, even though I'm not a fan. But who in here likes Strange New Worlds? Who has not seen Strange New Worlds? Okay.
I have seen the first half of this next season already. And because I signed an NDA, I can't tell you anything about it. But it's absolutely phenomenal. They're going to tell stories that were really good. I really enjoyed it. There is a goofy episode in there, but there has to be one. I don't think they take themselves seriously on some of this stuff, and they just have a great time. And it was evident in this one episode. And that's probably too much. I probably shouldn't even say that, but yes, seeing last season with the gore and all that, all this stuff that they're doing is really paying homage to Trek. I just wish the Gorn would look a little bit less like aliens and more like the Bobby Clark Gorn.
I don't really mind the updated special effects because they are better than what they could do in the 60s series. As long as the series can feel sort of the same, I'm fine with the special effects. And I know that they've already tried to explain away the difference of the Klingon looks in Lower Decks. If any of y'all watched that,
You just gave a big spoiler.
well, I not,
You got to say spoiler alert first.
but I don't even mind that because Klingons looked different from the original series to the movies. The special effects get better. Yeah.
It did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And in Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Lower Decks explains it and it was so well done. It was tongue in cheek. That was such a debate that he opened up. Have you all seen Lower Decks? Do you understand the temporal, all that good stuff, the shift? That to me, I laughed hysterically at that because it shows you, it asks the question, are we in the Prime universe or are we in some other universe? And it also shows you that we can still reimagine Star Trek in a creative way that can tie people together. I think everybody agreed that was great.
Yeah. And I think that what keeps Star Trek fresh for even younger people, and some people who have gone into the sciences, they explain most everything. Everything has an explanation. Even if it doesn't have an explanation in this season, 3-4 seasons from now, like the Klingons, the difference in their appearance, they eventually explain it. And I think because of the influence that it's had on people becoming scientists, and it's going to, as long as the stories keep coming, as long as the stories are so good, people will come to it.
We've talked a lot about the reinvention, the look, special effects. I'd like for you to take a look at something that Otoy put together some time ago that, to me, shows how you could have done Star Trek in this current time. And if you know a toy, you know their work with the Generations anniversary video where Kirk and Spock reconcile at the end, that I think brought everybody to tears who got a chance to see it. If you have not, go search Roddenberry's archive. It's on YouTube. They did a digital prosthetic. They were able to recreate William Shatner's look as he was in that film, in Generations, and in the Wrath of Khan. It's really great. I can't do it justice here, but just looking at the pictures of this video and seeing the style that they chose, when you look at San Francisco, to me, the one that got me beyond just downtown is seeing the Enterprise just sitting there. I think you could tell a compelling story in this look without having to go and change everything to look like it's overly modernized. The bridge on the Enterprise looks like it's not something that came before Generations. It looks like it came 500 years after that. It just, to me, some of it doesn't sit. And I know I complain a lot about it. I just write because I want to write. But as a fan, I want to see those kind of things. I want it to make sense.
Yeah.
They always said they couldn't do this look because it was cardboard, but they did something in Enterprise. They have an option to do it. It's the art director's choice to go in that direction or not.
Yeah. And you complain about the things that you care about.
Yes.
On the timelines, people are hard, like between Strange New Worlds and Picard, to entertain the stories at all, with the like regular thing of
Strange,
or is it completely like hundreds of years?
Strange New Worlds is about 10 years before the original series. So then the original series was about 85 years or so. No, well, my math is wrong. Star Trek times are a little off because the Wrath of Khan is supposed to be like right after the 5-year mission, something like that. But Kirk ages 20 years. And then the Admiral says that Jim, the Enterprise, is 20 years old. We feel her time is done.
Yeah.
That was a very bad impression. Yes.
So with the change in aesthetics, do you think it's possible to have sold the show or the movies with, we're going to imitate what was before? Every time they people with money invested, I would assume you have to show them better.
Yeah.
Even if it kills the story or the aesthetics, I don't see it happening. Like, how would they go back and have the toys as phasers and the whistles they use, all that stuff?
Yeah.
You can't sell that.
You can't. There are styles that you can work on that still keeps some of the look, but then modernize it. And it's been done. It's just, I gripe because it looks so far ahead of its time. And to me, I can't believe some of it. I'm sorry?
TV's just that damn good. Not that everything
Yes,
looks so much better.
everything does.
Like, I don't want to go to the movie theater.
And that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody had a question.
You had a question?
We've heard nothing from this side of the room. Y'all hate Star Trek? Any Star Trek fans? Yeah, Star Wars spies. Well, we have a door for Star Wars. I want to get to this on the screen, which is the Paramount Skydance problem that has occurred. As you know, Paramount CBS is for sale and has been on the block for a while. There's been discussions of like a hedge fund buying it, and that would be disaster. Skydance came in at the last hour, and I think we're still waiting on that approval, but I want to say they're going to take over at some point. Paramount's best choice is Skydance, and it brings the option of the Kelvin universe back in full with all of this. But also Skydance is pro Star Trek, so you have an option there. The only problem that we have right now is that Kirsten's contract ends in 2 years. We don't have any details on Starfleet Academy, even though Comic-Con is in 2 weeks from the date of this panel. We don't know what's going to happen. Could Starfleet Academy be a film? Could it be a series? What's going to happen? Because when Skydance takes over, that's it. Anything that was in place could be chopped immediately. So it'd be an injustice not to be able to see the efforts that have gone there. And as a matter of fact, there's a documentary called Trek Nation that Gene Roddenberry's son produced. And at one time, they were interviewing J.J. Abrams, because this was the start of the new films and they wanted to get his take on it. And there was a video of Gene Roddenberry saying that he, at some point in the future, would love to see them go back and tell the Academy days of Kirk, Spock, and all that in a new, younger set of actors and actresses. And maybe their Star Trek will be better than Roddenberry's Star Trek. So it was on Gene's mind that there could possibly be a day whenever Star Trek wasn't Roddenberry, when it moved on from that. I don't think you can write or do a better series than Roddenberry, but I think you can try and you can endeavor to do that.
Yeah. And we almost we had the pieces for it, but they didn't come together at the end of the card. You almost had Star Trek Legacy with Jerry Ryan, and but that failed to materialize. So
that failed to materialize because it was never a concept. It was something that Terry Matalas put in there because he wanted something to look forward to give fans hope that there could be something.
Yeah.
But it's up to the studio to say, yes, we're going to greenlight that. And right now, with the state of the industry, the fact that nothing's being produced anywhere, that to me, that doesn't get made. That doesn't get made in any universe. I've said at every panel since that came out that we're not going to see Legacy.
Yeah.
I want to see it, but I don't believe we're going to get that. Not in its current incarnation.
So what?
I'm sorry? Because if you remember, the SAG went on strike in 2023 and the whole industry shut down. It all was about residuals, AI, executives making a lot of money, not knowing what streaming analytics were. Actors wanted more. The SAG minimum was so low that a person could only make a couple $100s a month, and that's not a living wage. So that's things that they went on strike for. They didn't get all of that back. So we're still in that circle of people not wanting to produce. The producers don't want to give them work, and there's just nothing there. There's incentives, but we're not filming. I mean, I haven't worked a day, and I was a PA. I haven't worked a day since 23. So you just move on and do something else. But right now, I mean, there's stuff in other countries being made, just not here.
So did anyone watch the Section 31 movie? What did y'all think?
I'm a big Mr. Science Kingdom buff, so I'm used to the stink of a failed pilot.
It will be good in the future when it's.
It was supposed to be so much more, so much
Yeah.
more. You have Michelle Yeoh you have this incredible actress and you don't give her quality material that, I'm not gonna talk about it much more.
So the question that we want to leave everyone is, would what do you want to see where do you want to see Star Trek go?
This is something that we have not asked in a long time. We used to do a panel at Wizard World, and we asked the question, what would you like to see in the next Star Trek series? And it was always a show about Klingons, or not Klingons, but aliens and episodic space travel. Is that still the norm? Is that what people still want to see?
This was before Discovery came out, and the questions that we asked in this thing always led to something that resembled Firefly. And
yes, that's right.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to see in the next Star Trek series or Star Trek movie?
Another Q.
Q?
For me, it's the timeline. I don't want to keep going back and doing prequel. I want to see what's like Lower Decks here after Nemesis, like carry on.
We want to keep moving forward. We want to see Q.
I still love like those one-shot episodes like JC and all that, where you really get some depth characters or learn more about them, or it's just fun.
I think they were.
It doesn't always have to be serious drama or there's more productive breaks. It's like it's nice to take a little break from that, and you get to see this more like in TNG's Lower Decks. You get to see them like oh shit, it's hard, and then they get actual Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they were striving for with short treks, is telling one-off stories, but that's not what you're looking for. We're looking for something in a series. Until things get cheaper, I don't know. You have to wait till Skydance takes over and make that decision. I am hopeful because Skydance is pro Star Trek. I think, and I mentioned this to Eric at one time, I said, I think the best thing that could happen is to take Star Trek away from Paramount and sell it to Universal. And the reason why is I think Universal will give it its best shot. They'll give it the money and the attention that it deserves, and it'll rival what Disney has with Star Wars. And we could see a resurgence in productions, movies and shows, and comics and whatever else is the case. I really think after seeing the Enterprise Bridge at Universal Studios, I'm even more as a proponent to them taking over. But that won't happen. It's just it's a pipe dream. That's what it is. It's a pipe dream.
I think they took a page out of Star Wars book and sense. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was written in some novels that we probably adapt into shows, another animated series. I think would also be good. I mean, I think what rejuvenates competition. Liking more Star Trek and Star Wars, kind of like both. But I mean, what we hear they pulled a lot of these things that were characters from the books that were in the movies.
Expanding universe, yeah.
Yeah, expanding universe like they did in whatever Disney, whatever it is. I mean, and that Star Trek did something like that. I'm looking forward to seeing Star Trek Academy because it's set in the 31st century. Because they're trying to reinstate, they're trying to rebuild Starfleet.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see. So there's a lot of great stories and novels that Star Trek over the years that they've been drawing on.
Yeah.
The one where they had just recently with who was the captain from Deep Space Nine,
Cisco.
And that was great. That was all novelization. That's a great way to make the series. Expand it, evolve it, stay with themes, create new content for us.
Yeah.
Well, we still have the Wrath of Khan podcast that was Nicholas Myers going to put out, and we still don't have that. So there are some things to look forward to. Next year's 60th anniversary, they couldn't make an announcement. The last anniversary we had was Star Trek Beyond, and they didn't even. I had heard stories that they didn't even think they were going to do a film for the 50th, and we at least got something. And I always like to end the panel on a positive note. So a couple of memes that you might enjoy. Of course, you got Scotty asking, he wants to see the bridge, and he gets that travesty. Just
No
some
bloody
Do we have any final thoughts, questions, comments, deep fears, and concerns that we could address to all of you?
No.
Okay, I do. If you have time and you really want to dive into it, William Shatner's books, his 3-book saga about bringing Kirk back, is an excellent story. Ashes of Eden is the first one, and it tells the story from generations on, and it gives another adventure of him taking over the Enterprise and getting one last ride on it. It's a really, really good thing. So if you have time, go find those books. They also have audiobooks where Shatner's narrating. It's really good. I recommend that story a lot. Matter of fact, when I'm driving to Comic-Con in a couple weeks, this coming week, I'll be listening to that on the way. Oh, Lord. Picard. Picard.
Favorite captain?
Yeah, Picard. 100%.
Cisco.
Cisco was a captain. He was a commander and he was a captain.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to make sure that your voice is heard, the best thing you can do is to stream the videos, to comment when Paramount asks questions about Star Trek, like their pages, let them know that you are interested in the property. That's the only way they're gonna continue allowing these things to go on the air. I mean, the whole reason that, of course, the streaming, that's how they pay for it. That's the only reason it's there, is to make money.
Yeah.
So they want to see that we're enjoying it and that we're constantly coming back to it.
Yeah. And never in the early, in the middle of the 2000s, so from 2000, 2010, as a Star Trek fan, I thought everything's over. Never in my wildest dreams, did I think we would have two series and an animated series going on at the same time at any point in the future. So that's our positive note. So we have series right now. We are still in a good era of Star Trek.
We still have this season of Strange New Worlds. We have another full season and then a half season.
Yeah.
So
And
they
then
will tell a story. We don't know.
Starfleet Academy.
We have Starfleet Academy. We don't know if Pike is going to end up in the chair, which is where he should be. I would, as a fan, I would hope that the last episode was a retelling of the Menagerie as a different way. That might be an interesting way to close the series out. But on that set of unfortunate news, we're going to end this. I want to thank y'all for, it's so late. I want to thank y'all for coming and enduring this.
Thank y'all.
And being a part of it. Y'all have been an excellent audience. We thank you so much. And be sure you check out our channel and we'll see you next time.
Thank y'all.